Welcome to the hottest real estate topics on the planet, keeping you up to date with all the creative ways to buy and sell real estate without bank qualifying, so anyone can build real income starting today. Here is another great show with Dealmaker Bill and Pete the Rookie.
All right, here we are at another episode of Flipping Houses for Rookies. I'm Bill the Dealmaker.
And I'm Pete the Rookie.
Pete the Rookie. How are you today, Peter?
I'm fine.
Yeah, what makes you fine?
Well, there's two approaches to that, you know?
Oh.
Some people need to have something good happening to feel good, right?
Here we go.
And some people need something bad to happen to feel bad.
Okay.
I haven't decided yet.
You haven't decided which way the glass is, half full or half empty?
No, I'm just okay right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm not looking too close.
I thought you were feeling good because you've been eating all them vegetables out of your garden.
You know, we had dinner.
Oh, it just cut out. Hey.
Hello. We had dinner last night, right?
Yeah.
And what did we have for vegetables?
I don't know. What'd you have for vegetables?
Frozen vegetables.
Why?
I said, guys, don't you want the eggplant? No, we don't like eggplants. It's too squishy. How about the peppers? You don't just eat a pepper. Well, cook it with onions. We don't have any onions. Well, how about tomatoes? We've had a lot of tomatoes. Okay, the hell with you.
Who was this?
The wife and the kid.
Oh,
boating them.
There's the problem.
The boating them.
There's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get it. We'll do it later.
Okay.
We'll get some more. Nobody likes eggplant.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
So, Peter, today is episode number 65.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. How are you?
I'm good.
Why you're good?
Because I cheat. I get up every morning and just make it good.
Yeah.
And when it's bad, it lasts for about, 20 minutes, a half an hour, and then it all goes away for another month or 2 or 6 or whatever.
Yeah, till tomorrow. Yeah, I was explaining to my friend that sometimes when I get up, there's like too much going on in my head, so I just have to get it done. Okay, phew, I'm okay now. Yeah. You make it work out, though. Yay.
Well, I learned the trick.
Oh, it's a trick.
There's a trick.
Damn it.
Yeah.
What?
I used to talk to myself.
First sign of insanity, you know.
Huh?
First sign of insanity.
I used to talk to myself. Now I don't talk to myself anymore. I just order myself. I don't talk to myself anymore because, before I would consult myself and then, what about this? What about that? Now I'm just like, I'm doing this. Get over it.
Yeah, just go.
And honestly, that's what I do. It's very hard to explain. It's very weird, but yeah.
No, I know what you mean.
So,
I know what you mean. Here's a lesson for the boys and girls. Let's make a little lesson out of this, if you don't mind.
Here we go.
Seriously.
The boys and the girls.
The boys and girls.
As if there was some other kind of species we were talking to.
As if they're probably most of them younger than me.
Oh, okay.
But no, seriously, you get an idea in your head, right? So
Here you go, lads.
I should do this.
Here you go, lads.
So you get an idea in your head. And
don't look at the camera. They don't like that. They send support tickets in when we look at the camera. They don't like that.
They don't know they're on?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, what happens is, you get an idea in your head, you want to do something. You start thinking stuff. Well, I don't. Maybe I'll do it later. I don't feel like it. What if it doesn't? You start thinking stuff. Don't. Just go ahead.
Right.
Just push. And you actually be happier if you did it, and then if you don't do it. I think most worries are the things you haven't done. Just do them. There's nothing to worry about. Get it out of the way.
Right.
So that's what I try to do.
There's some philosophy from Peter Coca-Cola.
Yes. I read books.
You don't do it. You just read about it.
No, then I do it. I do at least some of it. The more you read, the more you read, the more you do some of it.
All right.
So what are we doing today, Bill?
Today is episode number 65. We're one away, Peter.
From?
Matching your age.
Next
week we're going to match your age.
Bill, I had a birthday.
Oh, so we got 2 more shows to go.
Yeah.
All right. I forgot about the birthday.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we did sing a happy birthday, so. Mm-hmm. All right, episode number 65.
Oh, carrot cake.
Episode 65. Stop interrupting me. He who waits is lost. Or loses.
Oh, I like loses.
He who waits
loses.
So why are we doing this show today, Peter?
Because of what I said on the phone yesterday.
Okay, so go ahead.
I got in trouble.
Yeah,
but thanks for not yelling at me.
Yeah.
You're very nice about it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Now, I have a few properties I'm working on. Actually, I think what's happening is I have about 5 I'm juggling in my head, and I'm not focusing on one just to get it. I'm just like, what about this one? What about that one? And I don't pull the trigger. So it's going a little slow as far as how I'm approaching the houses. I should say more things. I should do more things. But you gave me a couple of pointers. So I just wasn't moving fast enough on them. I could lose the deal.
Oh, wait a minute.
What happened?
I want to make sure I get this correct. You could lose the deal?
I could.
Or you have a lot of losses. You have been losing.
Not
deals.
these. Not that many. I have deals that are just dragging. The ones we lost that I can't remember one that I lost because we got there too late. Except some of the MLS stuff because it just takes, it doesn't move fast enough and somebody gets in front of you. I don't know. Not sure.
All right.
I can't. But I'm not going to argue the point. I'd rather go fast than slow.
Okay. Why?
Why not?
Okay.
I mean, anything can happen. If you wait till tomorrow, maybe something happens. Somebody else shows up, somebody buys it, they change their mind.
Right.
You got an opportunity, seize the day. Carpe diem.
Okay. So, being in sales for a very long time, and having trained a lot of salespeople, I know that the biggest disease or cancer, as we used to say, the biggest cancer in any deal is time.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Every day when you wake up, it's a new day, and things happen. And we are human beings, and we are very sensuous, and is that the word sensuous? What is it? We have feelings. Let's put it that way.
Oh, pensive.
Okay.
We think of things.
Mm-hmm.
We're pendulums.
And things come up, and things are in our environment and influence, and walk into people, and grocery stores and banks, and traffic cops, and there's just so many things in our environment that anything could trigger us, right?
Yeah.
So if you put too much time in a deal, then you're allowing the environment to influence the deal, or allowing it to have a potential of influencing the deal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically where it comes from. But the crude way of saying it is you can't steal houses in slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't use it because I don't think we're stealing houses. But technically you can't buy houses in slow motion, just because it just doesn't work that way. Just things. So things just happen. Mm-hmm. So think of this. What we talk about all the time is that when we are doing deals, right? And we talk about the strategy, and we talk about all this stuff, right? We talk about it for 65 shows or 64 shows up until now, right? What we figured out that the offer is like the catalyst. That's like your whole business. I mean, if you were to think of it like a seesaw in the fulcrum in the middle, right, is like the center point. So it's everything from the left of the fulcrum and everything to the right of the fulcrum, right? So everything to the left of the fulcrum, we'll say, is marketing, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're not making, if you have no offers to make, you look to the left, and you're like, "Where's the traffic? What's going on? Oh shit, the marketing's not going on, right?"
Yep.
And then if you look to the right, the result on the right is, "I don't have anything bought. What happened?"
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's like the offer is like smack dab in the middle of everything. So that's why I push all the time, make an offer a day keeps debt away. Mm-hmm. Because if you're making an offer, that means the marketing's going in and you're finding leads. And it also means that the right side of it, which is the acquisition manager or whoever is, which is most of the time the acquisition manager and the owner are the same thing, but he's wearing the acquisition manager hat or the job. Just like an engineer on a railroad, the guy driving the train wears a hat. He's the engineer. He's the engineer because he's got the engineer hat on, right? So an acquisition manager hat is the most important part of your business. If you're not making offers, nothing happens. Absolutely, positively, frickin' nothing happens. Oh, wait a minute. A lot happens, and you're busy in your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're not making money.
Going in circles doesn't count, apparently.
Right. we're not gerbils or hamsters.
Yeah.
Or maybe some of us are, but
where's my wheel?
Yeah. So making offers is the most crucial point. All right. So the reason why I'm kind of going off on this tangent is he who waits loses. Okay. So what would give you back off on making an offer? And I think that's what I want to talk to you about. That's what we talked about yesterday, because you had some concerns about making the offers. So, or some feelings or something going on there. And I think that they are, when you told it to me yesterday, I'm like, wow. I actually had a radio show, or I call it a radio show. The podcast was different for today until we talked yesterday. I'm like, we're talking about that.
Yeah.
We changed the show because I think it's not just you that runs into what you're about to say. I think it's a lot of people.
Yeah. So
let's just get the pink elephant out of the room and let's just get this shit on the road, man, and let's get some houses built.
Sure.
So go ahead.
Well, actually, something else dawned to me after we talked. In my defense,
here we go.
No, this is part of my personal confusion, and I'm sure it's going to happen to other people. When you learn the pieces of the business, or the parts of how things work, okay, sitting with somebody in the house, there's parts to that, and you have to do them in the right sequence. And we've talked a lot about making the offer at the right time. So I thought I shouldn't say anything yet on these couple of deals I was doing because I hadn't gotten to that step of the process. I thought I shouldn't say anything yet. That's what really was happening. I thought I was being clever. So now I'm confused because sometimes we've made the offer too soon. Sometimes, not do a whole presentation, just try it. And the guy didn't get it. Maybe we should have done more presentation or explanation first. So that, I think, was going on in the back of my head because I've done it. I've been on the phone. How would blah, blah, blah. Boom, click, no. It's gone. So that was part of it. So I don't know if you can even answer that.
I can answer it. I know exactly what's going on.
Okay, because you tell me, there's the right time for it.
That is the symptom of your disease.
Yeah, but you say, we're supposed to do the presentation first and then make the offer. I hadn't done the presentation yet.
Okay.
So that's why I was waiting.
Okay.
More than anything else, though I didn't even realize that until I got off the phone with you.
Okay, so if you're listening to this podcast right now, I wish there was a way you can respond to me, but I would like to know if you believe that Peter's explanation is actually plausible. Is it real and acceptable? So is it?
Well, yeah, it is because that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
But you talk about making the offer at the right time. I didn't think I was there.
Okay.
So but that's what I'm saying is I know a lot of the parts that's supposed to happen. I may not know when I can get away with them because I watch you, and I think you shouldn't say it till here, and you can put it in there because you know when to juggle better than I do. And I'm thinking, don't say it yet. It's too early. You haven't done this.
Right. Okay, so let's just get to the heart of this. So if you actually bought a deal, I mean, I know that I'm behind you, but if I wasn't behind you, what would happen? If you actually, if you said to somebody, I want to buy your house, and they just said yes, and you said how much, whatever you want, and they were the easiest lay down ever to mankind, kind of like your condo guy,
who never said no once in anything I said. I'm waiting for that again.
What would you do?
Well, first I'd go.
There it is, right there.
Yeah. Well, you're going to start wondering now because all up to that point, you've been thinking, how can I buy it? And as soon as they say yes, you go, oh crap, how am I going to sell it? Because you haven't been thinking of that much.
Right.
Probably.
So is it
not having been through enough of those to have confidence in how that process works? At least I've done something, so I'm not as worried. Like, will this really work? But I haven't done a lot to have the reality like you do.
Right. So this breaks down to that 4-letter word, fear.
Oh, we can't swear on the radio here.
No, it's fear.
Yeah.
So you're actually afraid to do a deal. And in your particular case, I'm in the background, but there's fear there. There's a degree of fear.
It wasn't as much fear that he would say yes and I would have the deal because I know I can get out of it until the papers are signed. I actually thought it wasn't the right time to try to push ahead and make more make offers, but I'm also juggling with how much should we say on the phone, how much do we wait till we're in the house. So I'm adjusting that still. Our pendulum swung way this way, and we're moving it back some way. So I'm still trying to sort that out.
Okay, so the reason why you're not sorting it out is because I'm telling you what's going on and you're not listening and you think that you have a different problem than what you actually have. So you're trying to solve the wrong problem. So there's a degree of fear there. Okay? Because what I told you yesterday is the real why or the real reason why you're having trouble is because you're spending too much time selling not enough time closing.
Yeah, that was helpful. You said that before. I didn't really understand until you gave me that example yesterday. The difference.
So you don't decide when to close. That's not in your control.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
But
I'm seeing what you, yeah.
But when the signs are there, you need to close.
Yeah.
Now, you had a client yesterday that you told me about on the phone, and you talked right past the close.
Yep.
Because what did he say? He said the guy said,
I was talking about the way it really went, because this hasn't come up before, and it kind of threw me a little bit. When we go to talk to people, we need about an hour in the house to go over things, explain what we do, and try to figure out offers.
Okay, so stop right there. Why do you need to do that?
Well, that's to enlighten them on how the process works and some of the options.
Good. Keep going.
Okay, so we talk to people for a while, explain how we could buy it, get some information, try to find out what they're trying to do, and then make an offer that fits what they're trying to do.
Right.
Now, most people haven't said, why do you need an hour? But this guy said, why do you need an hour? I said, oops. So I had to explain a little bit. And at that point, I told him, well, we can pay cash, but sometimes we do other kind of arrangements. We do something with the financing. Sometimes we do it on terms. We give you more if you wait, that kind of stuff. But it depends on what you need. He says, so you mean like you don't pay me till you fix the house, sell it, and then I get paid? Well, yeah, that's a possibility. Yep.
Okay.
So I've heard in the past in sales, limited sales I've done, that you talk to a person until they're ready, and then you go, okay, what colors does it come in? And you're there.
Right.
So what you just said a minute ago was great. You don't have to go through the process to get to your end. It's when the guy says, how much? What colors do you have? If I did this, and then you hear that, they're making you the offer.
Right.
So
in this particular case, did he need to be enlightened? Not that much.
Well, no further than on that one aspect. No, because he had it in his head. I didn't even say it.
So where you missed is, so say it again. What did he say?
Yeah, he says, so you mean like you take the house and I get paid when you fix it and sell it. I get paid at the end.
Right. And if we did that, would you be acceptable to it?
Yeah. Boy, that's good, Bill.
But it's just recognizing. See, here's what I think is happening. Just to kind of lay it out, and then we'll keep talking about it, okay? So I think this happens because this happens with my coaching clients, and obviously you're my number one coaching client.
I feel like number two sometimes. Three.
You gotta go to the bathroom, number two? All right, so, bad joke. Boom. So, yeah. So here's what happens. Fear is there. Like, what do I do? Even if it's like, what do I do next? What happens if I buy it? What happens if I actually did make $30,000? I mean, there are people out there that believe that people with money are bad people. There's underlying things.
Well, they must have robbed it to have it, because nobody has any unless the thieves.
Or they're stealing from somebody. There's a lot of philosophy out there. What is the name of the book is? Check this out for me, would you? Winning Through Intimidation. I can't remember the author's name. Fabulous book. It's actually about real estate, believe it or not.
Ringer.
Oh, Robert Ringer. There you go. Rob, thank you. Winning Through Intimidation.
Yeah.
How to be the victor, not the victim.
Once you read it in the mic. Okay, say it again.
How to be the victor, not the victim.
How to be the victor, not the victim.
Mm-hmm.
Tremendous book. It's an old book. You're probably going to pay, how much is it, Em? It's an older book. I bought mine, was a used copy. How much?
$9.
Oh, Jesus, I paid like $50 for mine because at the time they weren't around. Anyways, it's a Dan Kennedy read. Dan Kennedy, I got it from Dan Kennedy. Yeah. He was in one of his newsletters. You should read it. But I don't know why I was telling you about this guy. Because I just went blank. Oh my God!
Because people think that anybody who makes money is scamming or just taking advantage.
He goes through a plethora of ideas of what people go through to make money and why. And it's actually amazing because a lot of people have a lot of considerations about money. Nathaniel Hill, Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
Think and Go Rich goes through it too. It's a mindset. Some people are grown up with certain philosophies, like it's bad to have money, or and the thing I was talking about with Ringer is he actually goes through the scenario where there's only a certain amount of money, and it's like some people are like this.
Only a certain amount of money around.
Yeah, so
and
if I
everybody should
take it
share
from you, then you have less and I have more.
Yeah.
And that's not true.
Wow.
But there's a philosophy. So I've run into this with my coaching clients. So it's like if we offer them $65,000, we're taking it and they have less. So we're taking advantage of them. You know what I mean? Type of a thing. Because if we give them less, then we're cheating them.
Guilt.
Yeah. So there's some weird stuff going on there around money. I mean, money is like sex. Honestly, it's like sex. It's just a very touch and go situation. Everybody's different. And they all have, everybody has their own experiences and core beliefs that they don't even know are running them. It's like below their conscious level. Mm-hmm. Almost like it was implanted from their mom and dad. Or ingrained, or like they stuck a needle in their brain and like put some serum in there, and now they think a certain way. It's like kind of weird, right?
You don't even realize it.
Don't even realize it. So going back to what I was talking about with you, so all these fears are there, and whatever it may be, I'm not going to try to clarify that this morning.
No, there's tons for anybody has their own.
But what happens if you were successful and you did? I mean, think about this. My wife and I were talking about this the other day because we're re-strategizing some stuff right now. I said to her, because we were just recently at a Ron LeGrand seminar, right? And just because, right? Just because we could do it, right? And you and I both walked away the same thing. Terms deals. If you're doing the terms deals at enough volume, I think part of the problem that I ran into in the last couple of years is I'm doing terms deals on $200,000 houses.
Yeah.
But if you're doing the terms deals on $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 houses, 10% on a $500,000 house is a $50,000 down payment. That's a big number. You know?
Yep.
That's more than we make on a rehab.
Yeah.
We do 30 and 40 on rehabs.
Yeah.
And so much less work.
Oh,
so think of it this way. If your marketing system is in, and ours is, or is getting better, but it's in, right? And you start buying 3 deals a month at $30,000 a month, that's $1 million a year. Hello?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not that hard. And what you and I are working on right now are going to be working on scripts, because my latest realization is don't negotiate, use a script.
Yeah. People like me.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So that's why why we're talking about this. So all right, so I completed Averted, but I did it because these are things we need to talk about.
Well, I think you're right on target.
Right? So so my point is this. So you have this fear, right? So what happens is the fear is below your conscious level, so you don't even know it's there. So it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So whether it's, if I were to make $30,000 and make $1 million a year, I mean, some people are like, they like to dream about it, but really they're dreaming about it. If you think about money every single day and you're always thinking about how I can make $1 million, then there's something going on in your head. You're like trying to convince yourself or something, because honestly, there's something wrong with that. Okay, and how do I know? Because I've been there, and there was something wrong. Okay, my beliefs on money and all that kind of stuff were I had to get them straightened out. Okay, so what I'm saying is that let me get this out straight, because I'm just dancing around here. So the fear could be, if I make too much money, what am I going to do with it? What are people going to think about me? How am I going to handle it? Some people think they just need money so they can buy cars and go on vacation and have freedom. I'm going to tell you right now, money does not give you freedom. I know, because I've been there. Money does not give you freedom. A good system and a business will give you freedom. A good, enough real estate, which is, by the way, a business. If you've got 30 apartment buildings and they're all making you $300 a month, and that's enough, and you don't have to work, and you got to work 1 or 2 days a week, or whatever, that's freedom. But it's still a system.
Definitely.
So at the beginning of the year, we did a seminar called Goals Are for Losers. And that was all about goals are good, but without a system, you don't get shit. Did you get that good grammar? You don't get shit.
Oh, that's appropriate.
So my point is that you have to have a good system. So that's freedom. So money is not freedom. Okay? But having a system set up so that it's easy to get to is good. So some people can't have the fact that they're making $1 million a year, because I've met people like, so if I were to give you, there are people that I've actually met where, like, if I were to give you $30,000 a month right now to do anything you wanted to do and live, what would happen? You'll be amazed at those answers. People don't know. They don't have the end game. They don't know, so it's like, well, I quit my job. Okay, well, what would you do? And they have no answer. So it's like the end game isn't there.
Yeah.
It's like, so if they had freedom, what would they do with it? If you were privileged enough to have freedom to do anything you wanted, you had enough money and you had enough time, what would you do? Would you help society? Would you be one of those people that would, we're in Connecticut. I was just recently in Florida before the hurricane, right? And it was 1,400 almost 1,500 miles away. So we have people in Connecticut. I was at a smoke shop last night, and guys are talking about the guys that are in the smoke shop. 3 of them were there the other night. They were there having a smoke because they were on their way to the hurricane. They're linesmen, electrician, high power guys, high power wires.
Yeah.
Another guy was talking about how he runs a contractor, ABC something, where they do siding and roofing and all that. They got trucks. They're sending down 3 trucks a week full of supplies. Okay, so are you one of those people that you would just like get in your car and go to Florida and help with the disaster? Would you do something for mankind? Would you do something other than just for yourself? Would you go donate it to church? What would you do with your life?
Yep.
And some people can't have that because their life is what keeps them going.
Yeah, job.
So they keep these problems and these things in place because if they were to go away, they wouldn't have anything to do.
Yeah.
And subconsciously, they're thinking, well, if I fix that, what am I going to do?
My cousin worked at insurance, and they offered the employees a retirement seminar. And people go like once or twice a year for the weekend for free. They'd come back, and he'd say, how was the seminar? Oh, it was great. How was the seminar? It was terrible. How was the seminar? It was great. How was the seminar? It was terrible. What's this?
Right.
Hot, cold. So a couple of years later, he was getting older. I might as well go. The guy actually asked people, so what are you going to do when you retire? Oh, I'm going to go fishing. I'm going to take care of my grandkids. I'm going to volunteer at my church,
Right.
I have some friends. I'm going to garden, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And then he goes, well, what are you going to do? What's there to do? There's nothing to do. What are you going to do?
Right.
So some people don't have lives, apparently.
Right.
Right now, they don't have lives. They're not doing things now, so no sense retiring.
Right.
So some people are busy and involved. Some people just don't have them. They need to go find something to do.
Okay. So with that thought in mind, let's segue into what I've been thinking about here. So that's the fear thing, right?
Yeah, but I have more fear of not getting the deal, not getting the deal. So will you go back to that when you're done?
So, no. So,
well, some of us want the money and are more afraid to lose the deal.
Maybe you want it too much. That's why you're not getting it.
I think I'm at the point where I'm not worrying so much about the overall deal, but like the minutia, like when I'm working with somebody and he has a question, if I don't know how to deal with the question.
So, Peter?
Yeah, I'm going to move something.
Here's what I know.
Yes.
You become what you resist.
Oh, okay.
If you're resisting all the minutia, what are you going to get?
Minutia?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, talking to you yesterday, I figured I'm getting a clearer understanding of how it could go when somebody makes you the offer.
Let's go through this whole thing first. So I think I got an answer, but I want to get it all out. So,
good.
So you have this fear thing going on, right? So the next piece of it in my head is the presentation. Okay? So when I mean the presentation, I'm talking about the layout of it. See, when I train salespeople, here's one thing that I learned, and I learned this by accident by training so many salespeople. I would go through my whole training program. Sometimes it would be days. when I was working for the automotive company, a consulting company.
Yep.
It would take me months to train someone because we went out once a week. I mean, we flew on a Friday. We did a seminar Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday night and Sunday was when I talked to clients. So, and then we work for a week or two and then take a week off. So how long does it take to train that guy? It's not like I can just sit him down. It's like, we're in Macy's and they just keep coming in the front door and I could just teach them, or in a used car lot, you know what I mean? And they just keep training them. So it took me a while to train these guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd go through all this training, and it'd be like they'd start doing their presentation, and they're like, I'm like, what happened? Well, I don't know what to do first. So I gave them all this great training, but they didn't know what to do first. So that's when I realized that when you're training a salesperson, the most important thing that you do is show them the sequence of what they should do first, what they should do second, what they should do third.
Mm-hmm.
Then I noticed what happened is that once they got the sequence, in other words, there's 10 steps. You okay, sweetheart? Okay. If there's 10 steps, right, they would get the 10 steps down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know what happened after that? They would sit down in front of the client, and they would have to do the 10 steps in order. And if the client wasn't ready, if he was at step number 8, what would happen the first 7 steps?
I mean, the client was at 8?
Yeah. The
Oh,
client's at 8.
They jump.
Well, your guy is at 8.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what are you doing? You're trying to do the 10 steps.
I'm trying to wait. It's not time yet.
You're trying to do the 10 steps.
Yep.
But he's at step number 8. So why do you got to do the first 7 steps?
Yeah. Exactly.
Because you're trained on how to do the 10 steps. So then the next process, this is just in training.
We're not good enough at improvising.
Yeah. So now the next step is that once you get used to doing, first you need to learn what the 10 steps are, and 10 is a complete arbitrary number. Mm-hmm. But if you learn the first thing you need to do is learn the 10 steps, like in the sequence that they normally progress in. Then the next thing you need to do is you need to realize that you don't have to do all the 10 steps, or you do have to do all the 10 steps, but you got to go at the pace of your client.
Yeah.
So what you'll start noticing is you're going at your pace, and the client's not in the same pace as you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
So now it botches deals up.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next thing what you'll do, once you realize that that's happening, the next thing will happen is you'll know what all 10 steps are, and you'll let you'll provoke the client and let them tell you what they need to know, what they don't need to know, and out of the 10, you'll give them what they need.
Mm.
You understand?
Yeah.
So
theoretically, yeah.
Yeah, some clients may need only 5 steps. Some might need 12. But more importantly, you're provoking them with questions, by the way.
Mm.
Like, what would happen today? Which is, by the way, a great question. A great question that came from what we were just talking about. What would happen if you were to sell your house today? In other words, we were just talking about some people don't want to do real estate because, they don't want to be, let me back up. They can't be free because they don't know where they want to be. So it's the same question, what would happen if you were free? What would happen if you had total freedom?
So you actually asked some people what would happen if you sold your house?
That's one of our questions.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one yet. I've heard what would have to do to buy your house today,
right.
But just what would happen?
What would happen if you sold your house today?
Yeah,
it's the same question.
Oh well,
what would happen if you sold me? What would happen if you sold me your house today?
Yeah, what would happen to them though? What do they do?
That's what I'm talking to.
Okay. Yeah, we have the one like, what do I have to do to buy your house? And it's like, what are you doing when you sell the house? Where are you going? What's going to happen? Yeah.
That's the same question. Yeah. Because sometimes what happens in a sales process, I'll realize that selling the house is only a portion of it. They haven't figured out where they're going to move, where they're going to go, how they're going to, I got to deal with one of my students right now that we've been working on for a year. She sold us. I have a purchase sales contract for a month now. I know what my problem is this morning. We're waiting for her to figure out she has a disabled son, which I don't think is really disabled. I think anyway, so she has a disabled son that has no place to go. And it's holding my deal up. And I personally, I don't think it's a half as bad. He's just, got mama wrapped around his little finger, feeling sorry for him. Just a total sympathy trip, right? Because every time we get close, he comes up with another problem, right?
Sounds like he's got a free ride.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes you have to ask that question, because if they don't have the exit strategy worked out in their mind, then it's not good. So going really profound here, I find for me, and I can't speak for anybody else on this, because I could speak if you tell me what you think, but I can't speak for you, because I can't. It is impossible for me to experience this for you. With me, personally, I think with mental image pictures. In other words, I don't see a word money, I see a dollar bill. Right? So when I am communicating, it's a flash of mental image pictures. So if one picture is missing, then I don't understand something. It's like a misunderstood or a confusion. It's like a blankness. But there's a picture missing. So when I'm talking to somebody, I consciously do it now. I never did before. It's something I worked on a lot. But I'm looking at those pictures. So when I'm going through something with someone, I'm like, it's like you know how you make pictures as a kid? You make like a cartoon and you flip them, it looks like a film. That's what it's like.
Yep.
That's what it's like in my head, honestly. So when I'm looking at something, I'm going through these pictures. And those are my reference points, because I can pull those pictures up anytime I want, because they're mine. Right? So when I'm going through the process of doing something, I'm using those pictures.
Mm-hmm. Sure, makes sense.
Okay? So other people must be that way too, because I'm not anybody different. I'm a human being, right? So when I'm talking to somebody, I make sure that I'm doing a good job of painting those pictures for them, so that they get it, so that they have the same picture that I have. You see what I'm saying?
Sure, that's cool.
I just did it to you.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You get it?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll say, well, what did I just say?
Mm.
Especially when I'm training staff. Well, what did I just say? Or show me how it works. Right?
Yeah.
So how many times have we been training people and they're like, I'm a type of person where I have to see video and I have to, I have to see it in writing, or I have to work it out. Well, they're saying the same thing I'm saying. There's a whole time.
I'm a visual person.
Yeah, maybe that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Of. Yeah.
of course,
Everybody's visual.
Yeah. Some people just need more visual than another person.
Right.
So if you don't catch on right away, you show some more visual. And that's an education standpoint.
Right.
I've got fancy words for that in education, but it's just show me something so I can see it.
So what I'm saying is that when I'm doing a presentation, if the person that's in front of me is tracking with my pictures and they have it, then why do I have to explain it just for the sake of doing the process?
Yeah. But you have to be able to not only pay attention to what you're doing, you have to pay a lot of attention to how it's going on the other side.
So you have to make sure you're tracking with one another.
Yeah. You have to be comfortable enough with your process so that you can pay attention to more than just you and your process. What am I supposed to do next? So some practice, some drilling, some experience.
And assumption is the worst thing, and that's a big, big no-no in that scenario.
Like, what do you mean?
Assumption, assuming that the other person has it just because they're smiling and saying yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's the, as a teacher, there's the look and there's a, oh, yeah. Yeah, there's not the same. It's the,
So one of the things that I learned about in sales is there's a big difference between being interested and being interesting. I think we did a show on that, didn't we?
You sent an email.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah. You had. I know that point, and you did an email on that. That's very true.
So what happens is when you're doing the presentation, and you're worried about the sequence or what you're going to say next, you're being interesting.
You're focusing more on you.
You're trying to be the movie star on stage, and and you're trying to get your performance done.
And dazzle the guy.
Thinking that he's going to buy because he's dazzled.
Mm-hmm.
And it creates just the opposite effect.
Mm.
So right now, my assumption is you're trying to be interesting. You're not being interested. Being interested is when you're sharing these mental image pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and you have something in common. You like one another, and you're communicating.
Mm.
But you're sharing ideas, and you're sharing. When I mean ideas, like, okay, well, how about if I give you $140,000 and $1,000 a month? And he's like, I'll take the $1,000 a month, but I need more than 140. You're sharing ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So now you're being interested. In other words, you're talking with him, not to him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that makes a big difference. So my analogy is that I think that there's a little bit of fear with you that you have to be interesting instead of interested.
Mm-hmm.
And you're too worried about the process. And I think what I have seen a lot of is that fear will cause you to constantly do the process and never close.
Mm.
So you think you're trying to trick yourself. You think you're overcoming your fear by going out and doing presentations. You're doing a sales cycle, which is being interesting, not interested. A closer, I think they say ABC, always be closing.
Mm-hmm.
ABC, always be closing. What that means to me is, I'm going to cough. What that means to me is that you're in communication with the guy and you're helping him solve his problems.
Mm.
It's complete empathy. You're on his side of the table, receiving your communication as if it was him, and helping him make the decisions as if it was him.
Mm.
You're totally in his space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Helping him, interested in some of the barriers and why it wouldn't be good for him, and completely there without any back off. No social veneer, no invading privacy issues. I mean, you're talking about all of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're there, totally there with the guy. No cell phones, no beepers, no whatever. You're there in communication with the guy, working things out. And when you get to that point, that's always be closing, because he has some sort of a concern. You bring it up. Okay? Now, unfortunately, what happens is there's a thing in sales called a misdirector.
Mm.
What a misdirector is just some sort of a comment or some sort of a sentence or almost plausible excuse that you need to stop selling them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me give you a couple, all right? I need to talk to my wife.
Mm-hmm.
I need to figure out the money.
Mm-hmm.
I can't make a decision today. I need to talk to my wife. I just said that one. Let me give you another one. I can't do anything today because I got to get the money from my grandfather and I got to talk to him. There's a whole bunch of them.
Sure.
Okay. What a misdirector is that because there's only two things that happen in a sales cycle. If you were the person I was selling something to, you were my prospect, and I was a salesperson, it's either you sell me or I sell you. Those are the only two things that can happen in a sales cycle. So if you tell me that you can't have this pink pen because your mother, when you were a kid, told you it was pink was no good,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe you and don't sell you the pen, then who just sold who?
Yeah, the customer sold you.
Right. But if I convince you that actually that's just something your mother said that wasn't right, that pink is really good, then there you go.
Mm.
Okay.
So do you always handle those, or you sometimes can you just ignore them as just chatter?
So a misdirector, I'm a Grant Cardone guy. Not, I've done some. I just know Grant, and he's a little wild, too wild for me sometimes, especially antagonistic. So I can't take too much of him. But I've read a lot of his books. I don't listen to him. I read his books are awesome.
Mm-hmm. I just read one.
Yeah, which one?
The Millionaire Maker, the little booklet.
Yeah. So his books are awesome. So Grant Cardone says 80% or over 80% of your objections, stalls, or resistance are complaints. I don't have the money is a complaint. It's not an objection, stall, or resistance you take up. It's actually a misdirector.
Mm-hmm. And you just ignore it, and then if it comes back, then it might be real if it shows up again.
Right. So you don't ignore it. You acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's role play a little bit. So just give me one.
Well, I have to talk to my wife about it.
Well, you can't use that one. I'm sorry. Okay, well, let's do. Well, let's just do it. So you talk. So you talk about it.
Well, I got to check with my wife. See what she says.
Okay, so I totally get that. Which part do you feel like you need help from your wife? Is it the money? Is it the time? Or is it the color?
I think it's the time.
Okay, so you have attention on that. If we do this deal, it's too quick or too short?
We need to make arrangements for where we're going.
I see. So you guys haven't talked about that then?
We have, but it's not very firm.
Okay, so
it's up in the air, and I can't just say, sure, take it, and then we have a date, and then I don't have a place to go. I get in trouble.
I understand. So what's her idea? What should she think? What would she like to do?
Well, she wants to use just rent an apartment for a while.
Okay. So if we got a nice apartment for her to rent, then it would be better for her.
Yeah.
So let's do that. How about if I have my acquisition manager go with your wife next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and find an apartment with her?
You would do that?
Yeah.
I'll see what she says.
Get it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what you gave me was not a misdirector.
Yeah.
It was a real objection.
Oh, okay.
You get it, though? But
Yeah.
you see how I took it up?
Well, you got to do something with it.
See how I took it up?
Well, you got very specific.
Right.
That's the key. I've heard you do that a few times. So they say to my wife, well, you can't handle a general statement like that. That's very general. So you got a specific what the actual problem would be. Then you had some idea what to do with it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just give me one like, I don't have the money.
Oh. Okay.
So you want to buy this pen for $10?
Oh, geez, $10. I don't have $10. It's not quite my budget for pens.
Oh, okay. You don't have $10.
Not on me.
Okay, good. So did you see how this pen works? Let me show you how it works. Have you ever seen a pen like this before?
No. What's the deal with this pen?
Oh, this pen is pretty
pens.
special. Yeah, no, this pen is pretty. The magic thing about this pen. See what just happened?
Put my attention back on the pen, not the money.
Because you were giving me a misdirector.
Mm-hmm.
What you were trying to do is you were trying to shun a salesman.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, in this last 100 years, or maybe more,
maybe forever.
yeah, okay,
Hey, you want to buy my cave?
right. Hey, could you get me a Kleenex, please? So what happened was there's too much trickery in sales. Just the paper towels there is fine, sweetheart. There's too much trickery in sales.
But wouldn't that be just somebody who's just badly trained?
Absolutely.
Really?
Thank you.
If somebody is well trained, they can do their job the right way.
Right.
And to me, You know, because I've talked to people even about houses. I talked to a guy yesterday, not to digress just a second, that says, you know, I got a few letters in the mail from people about my house,
Right.
And I talked to them, and they just want to get a cheap price and buy my house for $1, sell it for $20. But you sound different.
Right.
You seem to understand. So I've been talking to you for 6 months. This guy, I'm the only one he's talking to.
Right.
So that's why I wasn't worried about. I felt a little confident by that. But I actually explained to him, well, you know, people who are not well trained, all they can do is buy a house that's beat up, run down, renovate it, make some money because they renovated it. They don't know how to handle a beautiful house like yours.
Right.
That's not a beat up house.
Right.
I'll show you pictures. It's a beautiful house. So it's a different scenario. It takes a professional like me to know how to give you a good price on your house.
Right.
And I left it at that.
Right.
Because I hadn't been in the house at all.
Right.
Did the presentation.
So let me just hear you. Let me. You did a Charlie Brown on me. I'm sorry. You did a Charlie Brown on me.
I was stalling. What'd I do?
Because I heard wah 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 wah.
Oh.
That's what I heard.
I thought it was,
I don't know what you just said to
I
that
thought
guy.
that was
I
Snoopy.
just came. Okay, Snoopy, still Charlie Brown. Right?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite cartoons. Good
wah,
music.
Wah wah. So
Well,
give me what the guy said. What did he say?
The guy said, you know, I got a few letters in the mail for people want to buy my house, and they just wanted to get like a cheap price and sell my house, make money. They wanted to buy it for $1 and make $20. But your letter was different. When I talked to you on the phone, you seem to be different, so I'm talking to you.
I understand. You know what's different? I want to buy your house in the fairest way possible. Would you be interested in selling your house to me if the numbers worked and it was beneficial to you? Would you be interested in hearing how that could be?
Okay.
See the difference between what I said and what you said?
Yeah, but wait a minute. I'm standing outside in the driveway. I can't get in the house because the daughter's in there that he's evicting in court today because she's got problems.
But my way's better because your way took like 3 or 4 minutes. Whatever you said, and what I said was very clear and very precise.
Yeah, but
and if he said yes, then I would say to him, okay, let's meet together and let's go over the numbers if you're standing out front of the house. Or you got time for coffee right now? See, that's my point is you're selling. You're so worried about being interesting.
Well, I'm worried about the process. I'm thinking I thought it was the
Who cares
wrong
about
time
the process?
Well, you're telling me that there's a right there. You tell people there's a right time to do the offer. I thought I had to do,
Okay, so let's clear that up because you
Yeah.
keep saying that over and over again. You're like a broken record.
Peti, pata, patu.
So when I say there's a right time to make the offer, what does that exactly mean?
Well, apparently I thought it meant we have to do the whole presentation thing and wait to the end.
Okay.
But today I'm getting the idea that's when the guy actually reaches and makes a reach to you.
Right.
And starts asking about
Right.
something nice.
Okay, good. So that is correct. He does need to be. It's not just when he reaches or asks for it. It's when he reaches and asks for it and he has enough information to accept the offer correctly.
Well, that's the part I'm stuck on because I didn't give him any information or presentation, cost to sell. I didn't do any of that stuff. So I thought, well, I wasn't sure what to do because I hadn't done that yet.
Right.
I hadn't gotten that far in my own mind.
Right.
But anyways, he was talking about the beginning of the process, just to be willing to listen to me. So I didn't feel it was at the end of the process, but succeeding at the beginning.
Right. So let's role play it again, and then we'll end off on this because I think you're making this way too complicated, or maybe I'm making it way too simple. I don't know which one it is. But so the guy says to say what the guy said again.
He said, I got several letters from people asking to buy my house, but when I talked to them, I didn't like the way they sounded. It sounded like they're just trying to steal my house. But you sounded different, so I've been talking to you for a while.
Right. So you feel like you could sell us your house for a fair price?
I got that feeling. I'm not sure, but you seem better than the other guys at least.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm not gonna. Here's what I know. You're not gonna sign a deed to me until you're satisfied. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I can't put a gun to your head and make you sign a deed.
Yeah. No, not my head.
Right. Okay. So, and even if I did, the lawyers would stop me because we're doing all this legal. Okay. So I'm not stealing your house. However, have you ever sold a house before?
One.
Okay. So you may not realize this, but when you do sell a house, there's about 12 to 14% in closing costs. Did you know that?
No.
Okay, so that's kind of average. And if you want, I can go over that with you if you feel like that's important. Do you feel like that's important?
Yeah, I'd like to see where all that goes. Yeah,
what that 13 or 14% is.
Yeah. Well, I bought a house and it was a couple of percent. It was like $5,000 closing.
Right.
Yeah, but that was buying.
Right.
Not selling.
Yeah, so it's a little different when you sell. It's between 12 and 14% is common.
Really?
Very common.
Well, I know there's the realtor and there's some legal fees, but
Right.
12 to 14.
Yeah, and I can go over that. You know, there's negotiating factors and there's closing costs, and sometimes there's repairs that get passed through inspections and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot to it. You know, selling a house is not like, you know, going to Walmart and getting some toilet paper. You know what I mean? It's just there's a process. So I'd gladly explain that to you. How much were you asking for the house?
$265.
Okay, so even if we were conservative and said $265, it's at least $26,000 at 10%, right? For you to sell your house. You thinking with that?
I hadn't gotten that far, but I see what you mean.
Okay, good. Why don't we do this? Why don't we sit down and actually do these numbers for you so you know exactly what you're going to net from your profit? I mean, from your property sale.
Okay.
Because I don't think that I could really make a fair offer to you until we get how much your equity is.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Because
yeah.
we're really only negotiating the equity. We're not going to negotiate where your mortgage and your taxes are and stuff.
Oh, my house is free and clear.
Oh, it is. Okay, good. Excellent. So, what did I just do? Half the presentation.
I love how you dance in and out of it, though. See, the difference is, I'm trying to get it, because in some subjects in my life, I really know what I'm doing, and I'm not there yet with this. I'm trying to follow a routine. You're able to, like, throw a little bit of it out and see if it works. If it does, you keep going. If not, you back off. And you don't keep going then, if you can't then.
That's the level I'm talking about when you're later on, when you're making the presentation. You know there's 10 steps, and that's an arbitrary number.
Yeah.
Right? And you're checking those steps. Like the step I'm trying. I can't make him an offer because he doesn't know how much it costs to sell a house.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's thinking $260. He's going to get, minus 6%.
Yeah.
And that's what he's going to net. Can I make an offer to that guy?
No.
I can, but he's going to think I'm nuts like the other guys.
Right. Right. But I love how you just put a little bit forward, and if the guy totally gets it, I know it's 14%. You keep going. If not, I say, well, we should sit down. If you can't do it, then you don't have to keep going. See, I try not to open up a subject that I can't follow through on.
Why can't you?
Huh? Right then and there, because I think I've started something I can't finish.
Why can't you?
Because I'm standing in his driveway. Like, well, you just said we'll sit down, we'll meet, we'll go someplace and do it. I was standing in his driveway.
Okay.
But it's like I couldn't do it then.
Why?
I had to leave. I had a doctor's appointment for my mother. He was mowing the lawn.
How long did it just take us to do it?
No, but you said you would sit down with him then and do the presentation, the full, more correctly, if he didn't get it.
Okay.
Which is fine.
Yeah, you got me where on. We're going to stop. I have no idea what you're talking about because I think you're just making it way too difficult.
Okay, I'm just saying that you know how to present the scenario, and if the guy doesn't totally understand, you can stop and make arrangements to continue at another time or go someplace.
Right.
Or you don't worry about, whoops, I went too far, he doesn't get it. You back up.
Right.
So you're able to move forward and backwards.
Right.
In the steps, which is good.
Okay. So that's the point of today's show. He who waits loses. So I don't want to wait.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to meet with this guy, I'm going to do it like this afternoon or tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm not going to wait a week and I'll see it. It's Monday. I'll see you on Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing is if I do have to make him wait, which first of all flunk on you that you're actually out at an appointment and actually don't have enough time to make a presentation. So that's flunk on you.
No, this was just he wanted to show me his swimming pool because he was closing it. He just wanted to show me that before the house was available next week when it's the eviction. And he gets in. He was just closing it up just to show me. And I've talked to him for 6 months. I wanted to meet him, just say hi. Just to have a little more reality with him.
Oh, I see. So the client's running you then. You're not running him. So he's in control of the sales cycle, not you.
Oh, no, I wanted to see the pool.
Flunk for not having enough time to be able to talk to him. End of story.
Well, I didn't think I should until I got in the house and saw it.
Right.
See, that's me trying to do the whole process inch by inch, step by step, because I'm not comfortable enough to wing it and just move it back and forth like that.
So you're going to have foreplay and then leave.
I know, stupid, huh?
Yeah.
I know.
So
Story of my life.
easy.
Boom.
He who waits loses.
Yeah.
So if you're going to start the cycle, finish it, or at least the point that I'm trying to make here is that, and this is very advanced. We should not be talking about this in a podcast, but the point is that I have him on a hook. In other words, there's a mystery sandwich there. The likelihood of him coming back to get my offer is very high. But that mystery sandwich isn't strong enough to hold him for days.
No, a sandwich doesn't last that long.
Yeah. It's not strong enough to hold him for days. So all I'm doing is leaving in a couple hours or an afternoon. You don't want to wait. Okay? Because the magic here is the offer. I will go to my grave saying that. The offer is the most vital part of real estate. If you're not making offers, you got a hobby. Point blank. Now, if you're making offers like you are and you're not closing, you got a different problem. And it's probably fear because you're afraid to close the deal, so you're doing the constant presentation and you're just doing the sales cycle, not the closing cycle. And if you're not closing, it's one of two things. You're afraid to close a deal and don't know it because you don't know what to do next. Maybe you don't know how to do the paperwork. Maybe you don't know how to structure the deal. Maybe you don't know what the sequence is. There's a reason why you don't want to close the deal. Subconsciously, below your awareness. Okay?
And the other point?
You just don't know how to close. Maybe you don't even know the difference. Maybe you don't even know that there's a sales cycle and a closing cycle.
No, you were talking about that, and you gave me an example yesterday. I need to work more on understanding that more, too.
What was the example?
I said, the guy said to me, we might have covered it today in the show, but it's worth reiterating. The guy said, you mean you would... I would wait till you sell the house to get my money. I said, yeah, we did that, blah, blah, blah. And so I should have said... was that something you'd be willing to do?
Right. So if it was favorable for you, would you be willing to do that?
If it was favorable for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That seems,
So
those are good words. If it's
favorable for you, would you be interested in talking about that or doing that?
Yeah.
And he'll tell you right away. See, the amazing thing about this business is there is so many houses to buy. That all of us could do this and have enough work. First of all. Second of all, time changes everything. So a guy that doesn't want to sell his house on Monday might be ready to sell it on Friday. Right? Here's a classic, such an easy example. We just had all these hurricanes in Texas. We had hurricanes in Florida. Do you think that might have been devastating enough that people will be like, I'm out of here?
Oh, yeah.
And that only happened in 5 days' time? Time changes everything. How about in New England? Okay. Why do you think that Florida is so populated now? Because of the winters in New England. Because we've had a few rough winters. Right? Deep snow and cold weather and, And I think what happened is in Connecticut, winter started back in November. We used to have snow on Thanksgiving,
October,
and it ended in February. We started having spring by the beginning of March. The birds and it would start getting warmer. Now it doesn't start till January, and it doesn't end till April. So now people feel like it's 6 months a year because it starts in October. Because when they were a kid, it started in October.
They're thinking October still.
Halloween comes and the leaves start changing colors, and then, below their conscious level, they think, oh, winter's here. So it goes from October to April. I don't want to live up there anymore. I don't want to live in the winter. I'm getting older. They go to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Time changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
When they go to Florida, what do they leave behind? A house.
Mm.
The reason why I say we have, oh my God, the reason why I say we have so much work to do is because we don't just buy ugly houses. We buy pretty houses too.
Mm.
And there is a lot of situations where people have sell pretty houses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
So he who waits loses. I hope today was a clear enough show. Were we too, was it too random? I mean, I was kind of profound today. I hope everything was...
Well, once in a while you got to go swimming in the pool.
Probably get a bunch of support tickets. Okay, that reminds me. If you want to get a hold of us or have any questions about this podcast, you can reach me. When I say us, it's me because I answer all the support tickets at info@flippinghouses for flippinghouses.club. So it's info@flippinghouses.club. If you are curious to know how I find my leads and get all these pretty houses and these deals that we're talking about, I've laid it all out in a private Facebook group, and you can find that at flippinghouses.club/coaching101. We're supposed to be changing that name. I don't know. That seems to get lost on our battle plan, huh? So it's flippinghouses.club/coaching101. Soon to be
Finding deals.
Finding deals, yeah. So it's going to be soon to be that. So those are the two ways that we can help you. The other thing I would like you to do, if you are willing, because we are at show 65, and I feel like I know we've helped a lot of people. They send support tickets in and bought houses and all kinds of questions. If you feel like we deserve it, give us a review. If you go to flippinghouses.club/podcast, you can see to the right side of the page, there's an iTunes picture there. Just click on that and you can give us a review. Would be really great. We have a bunch of reviews, so we have a lot of support on this. I think at this point we're well over 500,000 downloads. So
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's crazy.
A lot of people like us. Some don't, but that's just part of it.
Some people like to listen to that too. Then
people like to listen to that too. Yeah.
Let's listen to those two guys.
So those addresses again. If you need any help or have any questions, it's info@flippinghouses.club. If you want to find out how I do my marketing and find these deals, it's flippinghouses.club/coaching101. And if you would please give us a review, we would love it. You do that at flippinghouses.club/podcast. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And oh yeah, by the way, all the podcasts that we do are all archived on there. So all 60, whatever, I mean, we're up to show 65. We're usually a couple shows behind to get them uploaded. But all 60 some odd shows are all on the archive. So you can go back from all the way to the beginning and listen to them when you want.
Now the Game of Thrones season is over. Let's binge listen to the podcast.
Oh my goodness.
Huh?
Yeah, I guess I don't
binge
watch that,
listen
but...
to that. Oh, it's a great little show.
All right, so
everybody else does.
We're going to go over now. If you are part of the Coaching 101, the private group that we have that I'm talking about, the Coaching 101, we actually leave this show and actually go over to the Coaching 101 section, and we do about a 45-minute segment and do any kind of answer any kind of questions that people have. So jump on over to facebook.com/coaching101 on Facebook. If you're not part of the group, then send us a request and or just take a look at what we got there and come on in and join us, and we can actually two-way communicate with you. You can ask questions right on Facebook. Okay, Peter, we're over and out. Till next week. See you later.
Thanks for tuning in to the hottest real estate topics on the planet with Bill and Pete. If you want to continue learning how to buy and sell real estate without money or credit, head over to flippinghouses.club for some cutting-edge real estate wealth tools. Or contact us at info@flippinghouses.club.